May 2016, Sabah Khan reached a point of no return. Her desperation took over. She needed to remove the other woman out of the way. She despised her. The sight of her made her insides twist in hatred. Sabah planned all of it, and she killed the other woman. Yes, she slaughtered her in a jealous rage. All for a man. The other woman was a sister. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about real crimes and real people. This is the story of Sabah Khan. Wanna know what happened? Let's get started. Saima Kahn and Hafiz Herman were the typical arranged couple. Saima lived in England, Hafiz in Pakistan. The arranged marriage prompted Hafiz to move to the UK, where he worked as a taxi driver. Saima was a care worker. The couple had 4 children and lived at Overstone Road in Luton, Bedfordshire, with Saima's parents and Saima's younger sister, Sabah. Sabah was 10 years younger than Hafiz, but that didn't stop them from starting an affair right under Saima's and her parents' noses. Yes, Hafiz was sleeping with the 2 sisters. One of them was obsessed with him, Sabah. During their sinful rendezvous, Hafiz refused to use protection. In 2012, Sabah became pregnant and had an abortion. Sabah and Hafiz's relationship was, to say the least, troubled. Hafiz wanted less drama in his life, so he looked within Islamic law if he could be married to both sisters, which he couldn't. Sabah wanted Hafiz all for herself, and the hatred and jealousy towards her sister increased with time. Sabah's obsession became dangerous. WhatsApp messages showed Sabah calling her sister a bitch and accused Hafiz of marrying Saima just to obtain a passport. The messages kept on coming and Hafiz was getting tired of Sabah, so he blocked her messages and his attention turned to his wife. Sabah became desperate when she learned Hafiz and Saima would be moving out of the family home and live somewhere else. So Sabah made a decision. She needed to remove Saima out of the way. She was the reason Sabah wasn't Hafiz's one and only. Saima, what a bitch. So for Sabah, the only way would be killing Saima. Sabah researched online several methods of committing murder, where to buy poisonous snakes. She viewed a page which stated 16 steps to kill someone and not get caught. She kept looking Hafiz's Facebook page and she researched if falling in love was allowed in Islam. Ultimately, Sabah chose to kill Saima herself. May 23rd, 2016. Saima had been working. She was a carer for an elderly woman. Hafiz and Saima's parents were at the funeral. Sabah stayed home taking after Hafiz and Saima's 4 children. Sabah tried to lure Saima back home by sending 4 messages to Saima saying her youngest daughter was crying and needed her mother. Saima's children were already in bed when at 11 p.m. Saima was seen on CCTV footage entering the front door. The light of the hall was turned on and shortly after it was off for 8 minutes. When Saima arrived home, she was savagely attacked with a knife by Sabah. Sabah stabbed Saima over and over until she was dead. During the attack, Saima's eldest daughter called out and Sabah shouted to stay upstairs. The neighbors could hear the horrible screams. After the attack, Sabah tried to fake a robbery. She smashed a window, she hid the murder weapon, and she also hid the bloody clothing she was wearing during the attack in her room. Then, at 11:25 p.m., Sabah called her parents and the emergency services, claiming Saima had been a victim of a robbery gone wrong. When the police arrived, Sabah was outside. She had blood on her arm. She stated she had cut herself on glass because of the break-in. Sabah stated she was in the shower when the burglary happened. She also told the investigators she had overheard a phone call between her sister and her lover, who had threatened to harm her. So the killer would most likely be this made-up individual. 8 days later, Sabah was arrested after authorities found the murder weapon and the clothing in her room. Authorities learned Sabah had been having an affair with her sister's husband for a few years, and this affair was the reason Sabah had killed her sister. Hafiz claimed the affair had been instigated by Sabah. He wanted to break it off, but she threatened to harm herself. Authorities learned that on March 2016, Sabah had been in touch with a black magician in Pakistan, and she had paid £5,000 to cast a spell to kill Saima. She also had searched online how to hire a hitman for £200. Despite Hafiz's manipulative ways to make himself look like a victim, putting the entire blame on Sabah for the affair, the defense painted a different story. Hafiz was accused of sleeping with both sisters and gaining exclusive rights over his sister-in-law. Hafiz had actually warned off a potential suitor for Sabah. The defense also stated Hafiz, being much older, was actually the one instigating the affair, taking advantage of a person with low average range intelligence. Despite Hafiz saying he tried to break off the affair, Hafiz and Sabah were intimate until a few days before the murder. Sabah wasn't the only woman Hafiz was having sex with. He had sex with a woman in his taxi. He had sex with another woman on a visit to Pakistan. He had paid for prostitutes. The Crown stated the motive for the overkill was jealousy. Sabah wanted the husband and the children. They described Sabah as lonely and as someone with mental health issues. She cut herself and had tried to strangle herself. October 2017, Sabah Khan pled guilty of stabbing her sister, Saima Kahn. Sabah was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum sentence of 22 years before parole.